ladies and gentlemen. In this video, I'm going to show you how to profit off of your body as a man in 2024. Okay? I know it sounds bad. It sounds bad. It sounds bad. It sounds like I'm going to tell you to do OnlyFans. Okay? But this, as a man, is how to make money if you're jacked, if you're strong, if you've been going to the gym. How to make money online. Okay? This is what I've been doing for the past little bit. And a lot of people also have been doing this. Okay? And I'm going to share with you the strategy that I use to scale to over 50K a month with this, and how a lot of my clients have scaled to over 6 figures a month, which sounds crazy. Oh my God. Okay? But I'm going to show you how you can do this for yourself, because right now what I'm seeing, a lot of guys, a lot of men go to the gym. They're really strict with the gym. They're strict with their diet. They look like fucking Superman. Okay? But then they're just broke. Okay? So what I'm going to show you in this video is actually how to scale online as an online fitness coach, and how to actually profit off of something that you put a lot of discipline into, your body. You guys are putting all this effort in, and how to actually make and monetize off of that. And I'm not going to tell you, like, this is the thing. A lot of people out there, a lot of coaches or business mentors or shit like that, they'll tell you to just get on there and post, go make your little reels, go make your TikToks of you flexing in the mirror, and then you're just going to get like a Young LA sponsorship, okay? You can take that route and get a Young LA sponsorship if you blow up in 3 years, and then maybe they'll pay you $5,000 a month, okay? Have fun with that. But this is what in this video, what I'm going to show you how to do is actually monetize with your own business and make this your own business, okay? Not try to be an affiliate for another business, because you can make a lot more money with your own product, actually making that and refining that yourself, okay? So we're going to jump into it. It's going to be a little bit of a longer form video today, and we're going to pretty much just jump into it, okay? So pretty much I'm going to share with you my kind of story with this, because I've taken the same route, okay? So this is kind of my story as well. So I've always, like, I would say I'm in decent shape. And I've always kind of been into the gym. I've been training for quite a while at this point. But when I was younger, I was always like, oh my God, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym maybe when I'm like 25 or something. I'll go to the gym and I'll maybe incorporate that in my lifestyle. And I had this conception that in the future I was going to do that. Okay. And it wasn't until I had a female break my heart. I was so sad. I was sitting in my room just like sad. I was like, what do I do with my life now? Okay. And it gave me a reason to actually start the gym. Okay. So that's kind of how I got into the gym. A lot of you guys, if you're watching this, maybe you've gone through the same experience, but you'll say, oh, I just like lifting. Like, shut up. No, you don't. You got into the gym probably because of some sort of trauma, which is totally okay. Okay. So that was kind of my experience, and and I kind of had a reason to start. So here's kind of just to give you guys a little bit of context, like some starting photos. I was about 150 or something like that, 150 pounds. This photo on the right here, I was about 175, 180. So it's like a 20-pound difference. A little bit of musculature coming in. And then about a year and a half, 2 years into lifting, I really blew up. So I did this massive bulk. I shot from 160 to 220. I was eating these fucking shakes. So I would take this like a ninja smoothie blender, and what I would do is I would put oats, I would put 2 scoops of protein, honey, tons of peanut butter, milk, and it was like 1,200 calorie fucking smoothie. Okay, and I would drink this every day, like sometimes twice a day, along with other meals and shit. And I just put on weight like quick, and it was a lot of fat. Like, I don't really have any full bulked up photos, but I bulked up to like 220. I looked like a house. I actually got one of my IDs has the photo on it, and I look like a fat piece of shit because my face is so big and so round. But as you can see, like, look at all this acne on my face. You know what I mean? From these aggressive bulks with way too many calories, way too much dairy, and all that bullshit. And then I cut down. This is about 200 pounds. So I went from 220 bulked up, and I came down to 200 pounds. Photo on the right here. So after a year and a half, 2 years of lifting, pretty much. Okay, and then I kept lifting. This is me, like, I think 10 days out or 2 weeks out of my first bodybuilding show. And this was my first bodybuilding show right here. This is about 180 pounds, 178 pounds. So as you can see, like, from my original starting point to here, like 178. It's about 20-pound difference, and this is maybe around like 7 to 6% body fat here. I'm pretty much show ready. This is me in Gold's Gym Venice. If you guys know where Gold's Gym Venice is, like an iconic gym. So yeah, I kind of went through this journey of getting jacked, and a lot of guys have been through this same journey of, going from this little pleb, understanding kind of what discipline is, understanding how to get big. And it's not even just the fact of, I went from like skinny to big, or I went from really fat to, decent shape. It's not even that. It's like the mental journey you went through, how, that developed your character, all these sort of things and attributes that you gain from this journey in general is invaluable, right? And a lot of guys have been through this journey, but a lot of guys, which I'm going to get into, go through this journey. They're so disciplined, right? But they're not really making any money from it, and it's kind of sad. Okay, so I went through this journey. Still go to the gym. I'm not competing. I've done 2 shows. I'm not competing anymore. But this was kind of my journey in a sense. And then pretty much what I started to do is I saw a lot of guys, pretty much what they were doing is they were starting TikToks or Instagram pages dedicated to like their lifting stuff. And this is kind of what got me into it. Okay. So this is kind of how I got opened up to more of the, how do I make money from this? Okay. And I didn't really have like a specific kind of like, okay, this is the game plan. I'm going to start posting, and then I'm going to try to monetize that in some way. I was just thinking, I was like, okay, I'm just going to post. I'm going to post some videos. Maybe some videos may do well. Maybe they won't do well, whatever. Okay. And a few of them actually did decent, like 1.7 mil, 287K. Like some of them did okay. They didn't do bad. I got a little bit of followers, like 3,900 followers. Didn't do horrible. Okay. But this was kind of how the method I took to kind of monetize. And it was not bad, right? So pretty much what I would do, like my strategy is I pretty much made a commitment that I was going to post every day. Kind of like you go to the gym every day, once a day. I'm going to now post every single day. Okay. So what I did is I literally forced myself to post. Like I continually posted and tried to get some sort of like audience. Maybe they'll pay me money. Maybe I'll get a sponsor. I don't fucking know. I didn't really have anything. Or maybe I'll start a program. Maybe people will slide into my DMs and ask me how I got big, and then I'll sell them a program. Something like that. I really had zero idea. Okay. The main thing was like I saw other people doing it. I saw other people who were like posting these cool TikToks. Maybe some of them got a few thousand likes, and I was like, oh, maybe I should do that so I can look cool. Or it was kind of just a crowd mentality at that point. Okay. And I just continued to post it, especially when I didn't feel like it, because I knew if I had the discipline with the gym, that would directly translate into business, and maybe I'll get rich. And I was pretty much dead wrong. Okay. So I literally, vividly, this was like a couple years ago at this point. I was sitting at my desk. Okay, so this was my desk at my old place pretty much. I was going through my phone. Okay, I was checking how many videos I posted. I posted like several hundred videos at this point. Some of the ones that went viral. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so good. Like I was going through some of these ones and I was like, oh my God, 1 million views. Oh my God, I feel so good. Ego. Okay. I'm so cool, and I have, a few posts, and it looks so cool, and I look at my muscles, and then I asked myself, I was like, how much have I made from this in the past, 6 months to a year of doing this? And the answer to that was 0. And then I kind of had like a eureka moment. I was like, dude, what the fuck am I doing? Because like, yeah, it feels good to post these videos. Yeah, it feels good to look jacked and be cool, and maybe like some younger guys or other people who are not in shape will look up to you, or maybe girls will be like, oh my God, look at his cool TikToks. Okay. But at the end of the day, like I made no money from it. So it was kind of pointless. And I realized that a business really isn't a TikTok page. It's not the amount of views you have. It's not your Instagram profile. It's not, how cool your muscles look. Okay. A business is something that makes money. And I really had none of it. Okay. A business is something that tries to, you're trying to, gain leverage and gain capital and gain profit. And I really wasn't making any money, and I had no means of making it. Okay. And the thing is, I was taking more of kind of an influencer route. I was posting, trying to become famous or blow up or maybe translate into some form of money, and nothing was happening. Okay. And a lot of you guys, maybe you're listening to this and you're like, holy shit, I'm posting these TikToks, or I'm super consistent, and I'm looking at, maybe some of them will half-fast, some of them will be really good quality, whatever, but you're not really making any money from it. And it's kind of just like an ego thing, and it's not doing anything. Okay. Because a business isn't your TikTok page. It's not your Instagram page. It's not the amount of views you have. It's not how many likes you have. A business is money in. Okay. So I wasn't making any fucking money, and it was kind of like, okay, what am I doing right now? Okay, so pretty much what I was doing is I didn't want to put so much effort into something pretty much for nothing. So this was kind of what it translated into. Like I was putting all this effort in. It wasn't taking me a lot of time to do, but it was still like kind of a waste of time, right? You're putting in this effort, you're posting, and it's like, okay, what am I doing this for? And this is kind of like what I was doing. So on the left here, if you look at this diagram, so this is pretty much your input to output ratio, for example. So the amount of work you put in should directly translate to some sort of positive gain, okay? If you're putting in work and you're getting nothing from it, there's no point in doing that work, okay? If I go to the gym for a year straight and I track my calories, I track my lifts, I track that I'm doing progressive overload, but I'm not gaining any muscle, or I don't look better, or I don't feel better, or I'm not getting any sort of benefit from that, then I would tell you to stop going to the gym because it's not benefiting you at all, okay? So the same works with business. When I was putting in all this effort, but I wasn't gaining anything, the only positive gain, like I said, was probably some sort of ego. Then I was like, okay, what am I doing? And what this translated into is me understanding. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Me understanding that your input to output ratio is pretty much everything. Okay, so like I said, so pretty much right here, a lot of effort, pretty much not getting anything from it, to understanding, okay, what can I do to put in a little bit amount of work, but get some sort of asymmetric return from that work that is actually positive. And what I didn't want was ego. What I didn't want was likes. I wanted cash. Okay, I want money in my bank account. That's what I wanted. Okay, so until I discovered pretty much the simple concept that I'm about to share with you guys on how to actually go about this and how to actually, make money from this, which is like a business is money, okay? And pretty much how to actually turn a little bit of input into cash from fitness coaching, from being jacked, from being in good shape, and actually monetizing on that. I pretty much went from like $0 ever from coaching to pretty much being able to make a decent amount of money, okay? So pretty much what I do is, I'll get into that a little bit later, but now I'm pretty much able to sell, upwards of $6,000 fitness programs or coaching plans or stuff like that, and pretty much be able to make, roughly 15K a week. And here's pretty much a really good month, 49K, not horrible, okay? And pretty much the same process that I'm about to share with you, that brought me from $0, like literally checking my bank account, like $200 in my bank account. It's like, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing? Okay? To being able to, pull in $6,600, like $6,600 hitting the bank account at once, from like getting on a call with someone and closing them on a call and just being like, oh my God, $6,600 in the bank, or, just having that every month coming in is pretty crazy. Okay. Or 15K every week. Like, these are screenshots, and this is from back in July, actually. So this is like a while ago. This was over a year ago. Okay. This is April. Okay. So as you can see down here, the dates. So there you go. And pretty much the same process that I shared with you, brought one of my clients, just so you understand that this is a legitimate process. One of my clients, Paul, he's a little bit older. He's been in the game for a while. This is him on the left here. I actually visited him in Calgary not too long ago. He has well over 60K months. Like, he'll pull in, I think his best month ever was over 6 figures. Okay, so over 60K months, specifically using this process. And here are some screenshots, just so you guys can see. 6,000 an entry to TR, 6,000, just sold another 6K, signed up Jamie and for TR, and TR, that's pretty much a $5,000 fitness program. Okay, so that's 10K right there. Just sold a guy for another 6K. So like, this process is not like a little, I'm going to sell a $200 a month thing. I'm going to jump into that a little bit later, but I'm just here to show you that this is actually something that if you apply and use correctly, this could actually work if you put the work in correctly and not focus on some sort of negative return, but actually being leveraged with your inputs to get a better output. Okay, so the differentiator, pretty much to jump into this, is one simple term, one simple word called commoditization. Okay, and this is how I was able to kind of scale. And now I'm going to jump into, so now you know, I guess, a little bit about kind of what I've done, my backstory, etc., how I got into the space. I'm going to tell you a little bit about commoditization and how I was able to pretty much allow myself to make this amount of money is through commoditization, okay? And pretty much, if you're actually wanting to sell high-level programs, or if you're wanting to sell $6,600 programs, or sell high ticket, or actually jump into the space and not have to charge some low ticket thing, or actually be able to make a decent amount of money, is through commoditization, okay? So, hope this is making sense. Okay. So, pretty much what happens is, maybe right now you kind of understand the layout, the landscape, the layout of pretty much the fitness market in general. And right now there's a lot of coaches, there's a lot of people who are, in fitness, okay? Maybe they're trying to be some sort of coach or trying to do something, or maybe you're watching this and you're already a coach, or maybe you're wanting to start online, okay? And a lot of people in this space are falling under this commoditization trap, okay? And pretty much what commoditization is, maybe you've heard that term before, but maybe you don't know what it is. And pretty much what it is commoditization occurs when you're selling the exact same thing as others in your market, and you have to compete on other levers such as price, okay? So when you're selling the same thing as everyone else, or something very similar to someone else, you are having to compete on price most of the time, okay? So who can sell the lowest, okay? And I'm going to jump into this right here so you guys can see as well. So pretty much with commoditization, how this works is, imagine you're, for example, selling gold, okay? You're selling gold just in general. You sell bars of gold, okay? If someone comes to you and buys gold from you, they don't really give a shit if you're giving them gold through, this median or that median, or it's shipped to their door, or if you're coming and hand delivering it, or if they're buying it from your store. It doesn't matter. They just want the gold, and they want gold for the best price, because at the end of the day, gold is a commodity, an example of, thousands of commodities, and the only thing that people care when they're buying gold is the price, okay? You have to compete on price if you're wanting to sell gold, okay? Because at the end of the day, gold is gold. If I get gold from, Canada, if I get gold from Saudi Arabia, if I get gold from Russia, at the end of the day, who can get gold the cheapest is going to win in the gold market, okay? Because price is the only differentiator, because it's commoditized, okay? So if you're commoditized, you're pretty much helping anyone, so anyone who wants gold, and there's little specialization, okay? So in pretty much the fitness market, a lot of people providing the same level of service, coaching, weight loss, gaining muscle, whatever you want, I'll help you. There's no specialization, and it's become highly commoditized. People are having to compete on price, okay? And if we kind of look at this from another level as well, if you take two cars, so if we take the Toyota Camry and the Porsche GT3, okay? The Toyota Camry would be more considered a commodity in today's market, okay? People will buy the Camry because it's the cheapest option for me, okay? I'll buy the Camry because it's only $20,000 and it's not super expensive, and a lot of people will buy the Camry, okay? Maybe, this guy here, a lot of people will just buy it because it's cheap, whatever, okay? But then if you actually decommoditize this vehicle right here, literally, and turn it into something specialized and turn it into pretty much uncommoditize it, what happens is people will buy the GT3 because it's the best option, price aside, okay? So if you're able to get someone to come from that point of view of, okay, I'm going to buy this vehicle, or I'm going to buy this thing because it's the best in the market, it's providing the most amount of value, and it's specialized, then now you've become uncommoditized, okay? So taking, an example of these, for example, if you were to take a look at the Camry market, so this would probably fall under like the cheap car market, okay? There's lots of cheap car options, and pretty much if you take a high level view of this market, this is probably what it would briefly look like, okay? So it's a bigger TAM, it's more people in the market, okay? But everyone is kind of competing on a lower budget, okay? So the people who are buying the Camrys are people with low budgets. You're not getting a billionaire who or a multimillionaire who's just going to go buy the Camry because it's the best thing in the universe. Okay, maybe there's good say whatever, but you're competing on a different thing, and the larger TAM, so the bigger the adjustable market is. So TAM means total addressable market. You're pretty much targeting everyone, and you have to play this lower ticket volume game. Okay, so Camry, if you look at, for example, the amount of Camrys that were sold compared to Porsche GT3s, it's probably like 300 times the size, the amount of volume. So what they're competing on is volume, but they can handle this because Toyota's a massive company. They're able to push this, okay? But then if you take the Porsche GT3 market, has a lower TAM, which pretty much equals more available profits and a higher ticket price, and pretty much they're able to get higher profits and more money per unit sold. And if you look at the GT3 market or the specialized car market, you're getting pretty much one thing: people with money. And this is the difference, okay, between a commodity, which is Toyota Camry, and Porsche GT3, which is a specialized, uncommoditized thing. Like if you go and buy a Porsche GT3, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is the best thing for me because it has this feature, or this feature, or goes 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds, or whatever, okay? So I hope this is making some level of sense. Okay? And the biggest red flag, pretty much, to see if someone's business has become commoditized is if they're competing on price. Okay? So a lot of fitness coaches, a lot of coaching programs, or people who are kind of trying to do the same thing, is they're competing on price, and price is their biggest lever. They're pretty much a gold seller at this point. Okay? And if you're competing on price, you are letting go of other features, and you're letting go of specialization, and you're opening yourself up to pretty much get wiped out by a Porsche GT3 who comes in and just totally destroys you. Okay? So, I hope this is making sense. So, a lot of people may watch this, maybe some of my mentors, and be like, Ashton, commoditization, why is it a bad thing? People have made a ton of money selling gold. People have made a ton of money in commoditized markets. Yes, totally get it. Totally get it. There's oil sellers in Saudi Arabia who are selling oil, which is a commodity, and they're making so much money from it. Like, yes, the sheiks, all these people. Okay? But pretty much, when you're commoditized, you are under less, you have less leverage. Okay? And I'm going to pull up the same, diagram that I showed you before. When you are putting in your input and you're getting an output from that, you want this to be asymmetric. Okay, so right here, this is what it's like to pretty much be in, or pretty much what it's like to be in a commoditized market and sell a commoditized service. Okay, your input to output ratio is going to be pretty trash, while you want your input to output ratio to be pretty asymmetric and actually have decent returns on that. Okay, so in business in general, your goal is to have a ton of leverage, so that the minimal amount of input you can put in, the smallest amount of input you can put in, for certain that, okay, I'll put this input and I'll get this asymmetric return. That is extremely valuable, rather than just putting a ton of effort in and getting nothing, okay? Because it doesn't matter how hard you're working. People always say, oh my God, I work so hard. I'm a hard worker. I put all this work in. But at the end of the day, what is your output from that, okay? And business is a leverage game, okay? How much leverage can you have? Can you put in an hour and make $3,000, $30,000 from that, rather than putting an hour into making $15 working at McDonald's? Okay, so it's not the time, it's the amount of leverage you have in that pretty much input to output ratio. Okay, so commoditization in general is not a bad thing, but if you're in this market, if you're in the coaching space, if you are trying to potentially make money from this, you have to get uncommoditized, and you have to understand that commoditization is going to kill your leverage. Okay, and you're gonna kind of see what I mean here. So pretty much what's happening right now is a lot of people in the coaching space are pretty much falling into kind of what I call a slavery flywheel, where pretty much they're selling a commoditized offer, so the same thing as everyone else, and what they're doing is they're selling it for a low price. So a lot of people, maybe they'll sell like a $200 a month, or you buy my fitness program, it's only this much money, it's only $200, $300, $400, whatever. Okay, and because there's a low level of investment with that, people are not super emotionally invested. They'll pay the money, but they won't really do it that well. They're not emotionally invested. That will get bad results. Okay, and they'll just keep trying to push and play this volume game, like I showed up here with the Toyota Camry market, the cheap car market, they'll try to play this volume game of making getting 1 billion sales, but they don't have the infrastructure to support that. Okay. And people aren't really going to take it that serious, and your leverage is pretty low as following this kind of traditional coach model. If you have a massive team, if you have a massive budget and you want to play the volume game, you can play the volume game. But that's not the game that I want to play. I want to play the most high leverage game, which is pretty much this. Okay. And what this is you pretty much have an uncommoditized offer. Okay, so you're solving every obstacle faster and effortlessly. You have a no-brainer offer and leverage fulfillment on the back end, and you're selling that for high ticket. Okay, that's not just a high ticket price. You're actually justifying that high ticket with the amount of value they're getting from that. Okay, I'm not just going to list my Toyota Camry at $300,000 and just be like, okay, that's just what it is now. No. I'm going to make a car that's worth $300,000, like the Porsche GT3, and explain to you the value you're getting from that. Okay. Solve high ticket, and because you pretty much have a high ticket infrastructure and you're selling this for high ticket, you can now afford to have the systems, the media. You can have the infrastructure and take this money. If you're getting 60, let's say for me, for example, you're selling something for $6,600, you can take $3,000 of that, put it in your bank, and then take the rest and invest it back into your business. Okay, if you're selling a $200 a month thing, you're gonna have to push a lot of volume, and you can't really afford, you're going to be psychologically kind of tight with your margins, okay? And then also, with high ticket, what happens with high ticket, people take it very serious. Someone's spending $6,000 with you to do a fitness program, they're going to take that very seriously, and that's going to lead to great results, okay? You're going to be able to, recycle these results, use these results for more marketing material, market these results, and now it's working in your favor. If you have a lot of people who have worked, you can now reorient these case studies to now get more people into your uncommoditized offer. While on the other hand, it's just, the other way around, low retention, you can't afford to buy other clients, you can't afford to invest in marketing, and it's just pretty much what I say is it's a spiral downwards. Okay? So this is kind of the difference between, a low leverage coach and pretty much a high leverage coach is how uncommoditized you are. Okay? And I'm going to go through this quickly. So I make sure that this makes sense with you guys. But when you charge low price, what happens is you only attract people who can afford those low price. Okay? So people aren't there to buy your service because it's the best in the game. People aren't like, oh my God, I've been wanting to buy this for so long. I'm ready to buy this car. I'm ready to buy this fitness program because it's the best in the game. And I know if I do it, I'm going to get amazing results. They're not thinking like that. When you're charging a low ticket, they're going to be only there just because it's cheap and because it's available. Maybe you have some status, cool, that's fine. You have a few followers, cool, but they're only really there for the price, okay? And because these broke people who can only afford the price, what happens is they come in and they're not really going to get that good of results because they're not spending a decent amount of money. Therefore, their emotional investment is low, and now you have less money to invest back in marketing. Their results aren't the best, and it's just this flywheel of low prices. Versus on the other hand, you charge a high price, you have high quality committed customers who are not just there for the price, who are there to actually treat your service good, give an effort, try the best that they can, okay? And then now invest more money back into the back end, make the system better, and pretty much take these results, market these case studies, and get more people in for that high ticket price, okay? And at the end of the day, this is a very big quote that my mentor tells me all the time. The quality of your service is dictated by the quality of your prospect, of your customer, okay? So if your customer is coming in and they're all broke and they're not giving an effort into anything, then you can't expect to turn, a bad customer into a great customer just through your service, okay? They're not going to give an effort, and it's not even the fact that your service is bad, it's just the fact that they're broke and they're not giving an effort and they're just bad customers in general, okay? So the level of your service is dictated by the level of your customer, okay? And you have to make sure that you're getting in the best level customers so that your service is the best in general, okay? Cool. So I hope this is making a little bit of sense, and I hope this is kind of like, if you're a coach or hoping to jump into this space, why you need to try to, be leveraged with your with your offer and try to be uncommoditized. Okay? Now I'm gonna go through kind of the levels of leverage and how to actually go about this. Okay? Because there's a few different ways that I've tested before, ways that have worked, ways that have not worked, just to show you guys how to actually gain leverage and actually go about this. Okay? So pretty much with fulfillment and what you're selling, your offer, you have a few different, I guess, ways to gain leverage. You have a done for you, you have a done with you, and then you have a pure done do it yourself, I guess kind of like productized offer. Okay? And if I were to map this out, this is from like, this is going to pretty much be leverage in general. Okay? So if let's say you're a coach or selling some sort of coaching offer and you're doing a one-on-one in person, you're going to be tied to time. Okay? Now you're pretty much, how much time can you put in? You're tied to time. There's no escaping because you have to be there one-on-one with them in person. So it's a done for you. You're with them. Okay? You're doing this process for them. You're holding their hand and your leverage is low. Okay? You're not going to scale this to $100K a month by you just working with people one-on-one unless you have a massive team, okay, or you're charging $100,000 per person, okay? And then you have a done with you process where pretty much you combine some sort of maybe one-on-one or in person and then some sort of productized consulting where you give them an infrastructure and they follow it themselves, okay? So it's called done with you. And then you have a do it yourself where pretty much you're just giving them some sort of access or infrastructure that you give them once, and then that is it for fulfillment. Okay, and this is the ultimate form of leverage in today's market on the back end. Okay, because if you with this, you're not limited by the amount of people you can take on. Okay, so for example, let's say you have, if I were to give you an example, let's say this is a bucket. Okay, and this bucket can only support, let's say, can only support 100 liters of volume. Okay, if I try to put in 200 liters into this bucket, the water is just going to overflow. Okay, so you're limited by the amount of volume you can take on, and that's what happens when you're in the done for you space or even the done with you space. You're limited by the amount of in-person stuff you can do, the one-on-one stuff, etc. But when you're coming to this end, more shifting from done with you, do it yourself type, you are not limited by this. There is no constraint on this. You can pretty much put an infinite amount into this because media or code can support that amount. Okay, you're not limited by the amount of people if you are selling some sort of media or code offer. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much for fulfillment, how to actually gain leverage on the back end. Okay, you're pretty much going to want to think about how you can give someone one thing once and pretty much give them that one thing and allow them to pretty much do it from there. Okay, for a high ticket price. Okay, and then in general, so pretty much your fulfillment you can gain leverage in, and then your market in general. Okay, so I know I've said this before above here with the Toyota Camry versus the Porsche GT3 offer, but if you actually look at your market as a whole, what happens is if you look at a commoditized market versus a leveraged market, I know Sam Altman says this. He's the founder of ChatGPT, and he talks a lot about this as well. He talks about pretty much every business that he's failed is because he's been too general in his approach to the market. Okay, so if you look at most people who actually are starting a fitness offer or trying to do some sort of coaching or etc., what happens is they don't have any sort of market specialization. Okay, like the Toyota Camry. If you're a poor person in general, or if you're just not, you're just there for the price. So you're gonna get someone here, someone there, whatever. You're gonna get a bunch of people randomly, okay, who buy your offer. Same with fitness coaching. If you're just a commodity, you're gonna get anyone in. There's no specialization to that. This is kind of like you're gonna get this person here who's a mom who wants to lose weight. You're gonna get this person here who's a dad who wants to get some muscle. You're gonna get this person here who's a grandma who wants to heal her arthritis. Okay, when you're a fitness coach and you're just helping everyone, your specialization is low. Therefore, you're not gonna be able to charge that much. Okay, and the value is gonna be lower And that's not even absolute value, that's perceived value. So for example, if you're a doctor and you are let's say you're a general practitioner, you're a general doctor, you only make, I think, 150 or 200K a year, okay? Because you're not specialized, you're just kind of like, you help anyone. This person has a ankle sprain, this person has stomach issues, this person has a fever or whatever, this person needs a prescription for mental health aid, okay? You're helping everyone, therefore you're kind of viewed as an unspecialist and you're viewed as a commodity, okay? But on the other hand, if let's say you're a thoracic surgeon, or you're some sort of specific doctor that helps with a specific thing, like a I don't know, just a heart surgeon, for example, who's specialized, okay? Those people with heart surgeons, for example, they'll make upwards of $500,000 a year, okay? What is the difference? The difference is specialization, okay? So you gain leverage in your market by pretty much being specialized, okay? So when you're actually taking this approach and you're going ahead and making your offer done for you, done with you, do it yourself, and actually trying to be leveraged, the key to leverage is specialization, okay? So when you're going about this, let's say this is the yellow is the fitness market in general, okay? The blue is the men's fitness market. The red is the men over 40 fitness market, okay? And the green is the men over 40 who want to lose weight fitness market, okay? So as you can see, you're taking the pie and you're going smaller and smaller every time, and what you're hoping to do is become specialized and pretty much become a specialized person within that field, so then you can charge a lot of money for that solution, rather than just being a Toyota Camry. You want to be a Porsche GT3, okay? A Porsche GT3, for example, this is the car market, this is the sports car market, this is the, I don't really know car terms, but you're taking that large car market and you're finding an ideal prospect for that specific item that you're selling. Therefore, the specialization is so high that there is reason for you charging that amount of money, and you have leverage now, okay? So I hope this is making a little bit of sense, okay? So this is your market in general. You want to make sure that you're keeping this front of mind, because the level of your market dictates the level of your service in general as well, okay? A lot of people, they'll jump into markets that don't have any money, or they'll jump into markets that are just shit in general, and they wonder why they don't get any money, or they don't make past $5,000 a month. And there's a lot of market dynamics that are in play, that are external, that you can't really control, that are kind of putting these external forces on your business that you have to keep in mind. So you have to understand that the market has a lot to play with your business and how you kind of pretty much get leverage and make money, okay? And then just to kind of finish up here, when you are going through, so your market, yes, you have two other factors that come into play when you're actually looking to gain leverage and, you know, have a few pretty much levels of leverage. So we went through market, your fulfillment, but actually your offer and your pricing, okay? So if you look at this from your point of view, this is your current state, your desired state. Let's say you want to make 50K a month, okay? The difference between these two is the amount of value you're able to give to the market, okay? The Porsche GT3 gives a lot more value for the amount of money, right, that you are getting, okay? It's just how it is. This is a specialized car, okay? And when you're actually going through and trying to put together an offer to go from an unspecialized commoditized service to a specialized service that can charge high ticket, you have to think of the value that you are giving, okay? Because you can't just slap a ticket price on something and say, oh, my Toyota Camry is worth $10,000 or $300,000. It's like, no, you actually have to provide a level of service. So you have to actually go through and think, okay, what is the market that I'm in? What is the transformation that I'm selling that's worth it? And then what does the pricing system look like? What is the acquisition channel, okay? And you have to actually justify the price you're selling, okay? Because if you actually look at this graph, for example, right, the difference will always be value, okay? Leverage, yes, but you have to give value in order to charge high ticket. Because if I give you this phone, here's an iPhone, but this iPhone is worth, you know, $80,000. It's not worth it, okay? Because price is just another form of value. Money is just value that you are giving, okay? So when you're going through, you have to ask, okay, how can I increase the amount of value so that I can make a decent amount of money. And pretty much what you're hoping to do is, ask yourself a few questions. How do you add more solutions to your mechanism? How do you become better at what you do and reduce the time it takes your customers to achieve their desired outcome? If you're able to charge, or if you're able to do something in a lot less, in pretty much a smaller time frame than other people can do it, you're able to charge more for that because you're able to solve it quicker. Okay, that's why people will a lot of the time take flights privately, because it's quicker to take that flight. You don't have to go through airport security, all that sort of stuff. Speed is very important. And when it comes to value, how do you have a better onboarding experience? How do you shorten the time it takes your customers to get actually an ROI? How do you add guarantees? All this sort of stuff. Okay, because the bigger the discrepancy, the better and easier it is to sell. Okay, your customers need to be buying tremendous amount of value at a discount. Okay, so they have to feel like the value they're getting is actually worth it. Okay, you can infinitely go up, but the lowest you can go is 0. Never play the cheap game. Okay, you can infinitely increase the amount of value that you give on your service, but the lowest you can go is 0. You have to always be trying to increase this top line of value. Okay, so pretty much applying this to fitness, a lot of coaches, what they'll do is they will add certain add-ons. So is there some specific add-on? Is there some specific mechanism that you can integrate so that when you're on a call with someone, they see the amount of value and they feel like, oh my God, this is a ton of value for actually what I'm getting. Okay, so I hope this all kind of makes sense. We went through a little bit today. We went through a decent amount, but the overall message that I'm trying to preach to you is that if you're actually going into this fitness space and you're actually trying to go in and actually make money from doing this, you have to think from an uncommoditized point of view. Okay, because there's a lot of people who are playing this cheap car market, big TAM, get anyone who needs help with fitness or anyone who needs help with coaching. And it's just a very unleveraged way to go about things, okay? You have to think from a point of leverage. You have to find something that is uncommoditized, specialized, and actually leverage that through your offer, through your pricing, and through the value you're giving them, so that you can get several hundred people in for something that you need little fulfillment with, and you can push that offer to several hundred K a month. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Hope you got value from this. And remember, the amount of learning that you pretty much experience, okay, is dictated by the knowledge that you obtain and the action you take. Okay, so if we just went through this for 40 minutes and you learned something, hopefully. Okay, if you don't take action on this, you're not going to see any return. Okay, so I hope you take action on this, and I hope you actually get an output from your input. Thanks for watching.